Emerging trends in education. The year is 2022 and there are 4 dominant trends in the educational sector right now. Personalized learning is the first one. Though most subjects taught at schools right now are aimed at increasing students' capacity to learn, yet this varies from student to student. The beautiful thing about personalized learning is it uses modern technological tools to boost students' capacity to be able to learn, be able to comprehend and understand what it is that they're working on. Some students grasp faster than others. We all see this in the traditional learning setup right now. Students are able to personalize, they're able to take ownership of their own learning using these online tools, whether it's YouTube, whether it's a lot of the online learning academies that we have right now. We can mention Coursera, we can mention Udemy. They're able to personalize it and they're able to set up challenges that are based on their own competencies. And it also depends on their skill levels. This is really, really key in making sure that students have autonomy on their own learning. The next trend is vocational learning. Vocational learning is something that is really, really important in utilizing skills that have to do with project-based learning. What is project-based learning? Project-based learning is you learn with a definite outcome at the end. The outcome is something you're going to produce, something that people will be able to see and you'll be able to understand and display to everyone that this is what I was able to do. And with vocational learning, a lot of the job opportunities that are out there right now, particularly after the pandemic, they all have to do with remote learning, remote setup, and they are all based on a digital landscape. Students need to inculcate having this project-based learning mindset because a lot of the work that will be done remotely now and moving on in the future will always have projects at the end, tied in, projects, expectations, what you must perform. Students need to dovetail into this new stream of how jobs are going to be set up. The next trend is use of deep technology. That's the third trend. And these deep technologies are trends like gamification, where you use augmented reality, virtual reality, as well as tapping into whatever, because I'm sure there'll still be new technological trends that will come out, tapping into these new trends. And it is important that our students are able to develop concrete skills whereby they're still utilizing these technologies. When I think of virtual learning, something that comes into my mind immediately is a virtual field trip. When I was teaching a STEAM program, which is the next trend we're going to be talking about, when I was teaching a STEAM program last year to a couple of teenagers, I emphasized the use of virtual field trips because due to the pandemic, a lot of travel was restricted and regulated. But even with that, the students were able to travel beyond the 4 walls of their classrooms. They were able to get into different museums around the world. We went into the Museum of Arts, the Museum of Science in the US, Natural Science, where they were able to see dinosaurs and see their history and see various fossils. I mean, it was really, really amazing. And then, of course, we also explored some of the other museums that are attached to the largest museum in the world, the Smithsonian Museum, which is in Washington, D.C. We were able to see various displays that they had, different aircraft from the early 19th century and all the way, of course, to different technological marvels that have occurred since then. And they were able to marvel at all these different changes, and they were still in the classroom right here in Nigeria. And the last emerging trend is the use of STEAM pedagogy, STEAM curriculum across the world. I'm sure everyone at this point, for the most part, has heard about STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. However, what STEAM does is that it adds arts into that mix, which means it's a lot more inclusive. Students who normally would be wary, cautious, and are afraid of mathematics or science will say, you know what, now that our teachers also having expectations of an art component to that project or that assignment, they will feel a lot more comfortable and embraced and welcome into this science project, this science assignment, or even that mathematics assignment. And what I love about STEAM is that it really emphasizes skills that the students need when they're actually working. Skills like creativity, skills like problem solving, collaboration. But the key one I want to hone into is that creativity. You see, with arts, a science teacher can ask students to create presentations where they're able to draw. And a student who is really an art student can say, you know what, this is my opportunity to now harness and show off my skills. Whereas before they might have been feeling left out in the science class, now their skills are being utilized. That's what's beautiful about STEAM. So I want us to focus on these 4 trends and really think about how we can utilize them in education right now in 2022 and ensure that we're getting our students future ready, particularly for